Alright, El Negro, huh? Alright, man, peace. Shalom, 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 shalom. So the other day, I'm running through my timeline and my new Instagram page. I don't really be on Instagram like that. My old account used to have a lot of bullshit, and I deleted that crap. I deleted that account. But I created a new account just to connect with brothers and sisters because I know, well, mostly brothers, because I know a lot of brothers today, they're into Instagram and all that crap. Yeah, I was into it, but I just knew it was just foolishness. So I, I try to stay away from that crap anyway. Let's just get into this topic today. This backdrop I have. So the other day I was in my timeline, and uh, it was an article, right, about Christopher Columbus. Now I heard this before. It was, excuse me, when I seen the timeline, it wasn't the first time I heard about it. I heard it before that Christopher Columbus could have been a so-called black man. I do enough research on European history, of our history. Y'all, well, there's some who know that blacks ruled Europe for years. All right, it was just Spain and Portugal. It was London, England, Scotland, France, Italy, every country in Europe, right? So-called blacks ruled there for periods of times, over thousands of years. So I came around this article uh, on Christopher Columbus. So the timeline was about if Christopher Columbus, whether he was a so-called black man or not. Listen, it wouldn't surprise us if he was a so-called black man. I'm not saying he was one. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not saying he was a Caucasian. I'm not saying he was a so-called black man. All right, but after doing even more research, I'm gonna do my best to do enough research to find out the truth. All right, cause that's what I do. All right, it wouldn't shock me. All right, but you remember the what you call it. He also said there is history about the Moors, and now most people know now that the Moors were so-called black men. I mean, the word Moor means so-called black man anyway. That they ruled from like 1100 AD to like 1492, somewhere like that. I forgot the years they supposedly said that the blacks ruled, that the Moors ruled. Um, I know for a fact that it's been more years than that. It's been longer periods than that. Longer years, way before the years they talking about. The years they willing to reveal, but it is what it is. Um, a lot of people need to understand the people who funded, who gave the money for, who helped. Christopher Columbus sail and discover lands and all. They were monarchs. They were kings. Those kings and those monarchs, those rulers who helped Christopher Columbus. They were so-called bad people. Right? It was said that the king of Spain, um, funded Christopher Columbus. Right? A lot of people don't understand this. A lot of the early Spaniards, they were actually so-called black Spaniards, all right. A lot of the so-called, a lot of the Spaniards were so-called black. A lot of these Hispanic people from Hispanic countries like Dominican Republic, uh, Puerto Rico, Mexico, uh, Venezuela, Israel. A lot of them they don't want to. They say they have they descend from they have Spaniard descent. But a lot of them don't know that a lot of the Spaniards are so-called blacks. All right. Yes. A lot of the Spanish conquerors were so-called blacks. All right. Believe it or not. So let's just get into this article. Weekly World News, the world only reliable news. uh, uh, Supposedly, Christopher Columbus was black. This is an old article. Cambridge, UK. New research done by the University of Cambridge proves conclusively that Christopher Columbus was black. DNA analysis of the remains of Christopher Columbus done for forensic scientists at the University of Cambridge proved beyond a shadow of doubt that the famed navigator was of African descent. A, a 500-year mystery has been solved, allegedly been solved, said Wellington Bailey or Molly, whatever, the head of Cambridge research team. Even though Christopher Columbus was born in Guinea and spoke and wrote in Spanish most of his life, the Spanish language was invented by so-called blacks. Alright, the DNA is clear. Columbus was 100% African. We believe he was from the West Coast, probably from what is now Cameroon. So really, what they're saying is because they're saying if Christopher Columbus was black, he was born in Africa. No, there's not only blacks in so-called Africa. The blacks don't only come from so-called Africa. Okay, blacks come from many different places in the world. All right, we all now it's being revealed, but they really want to say it. But blacks are so-called black people are the indigenous people of every land on earth, without a shadow of a doubt. I No way, said Carlo Michi of Bayonne, New Jersey. Columbus is a full-blooded Italian American. Well, I don't know how you can be an Italian American. Well, I don't know if he can describe him as an American because he wasn't born in the Americas. He sailed here with his friends Nina and Pita and discovered Hoboken. That's the way it went down. He's not black. This is our day. So of course, um, this person, Carlo Michi, I think it's an Italian. I know he's of Italian. I think it's an Italian name. Manucci. That's how you say his name. Last name. He's probably from. He's probably Italian. I'm gonna do a little research on this man. He's probably Caucasian Italian. You know, a lot of times a lot of them, they have so-called black names, but they want to deny it. I mean, who knows what a lot of these tongues out here are. Alright, they could be Caucasian, they could be so-called black, they could be whatever. We don't know because it's hard, from the Italian region, from the region where they're from, to Italy and Sicily. It's hard to describe, because it's been a lot of confusion, a lot of mixed race, mixing the race. Alright, a lot of what's happening today, a lot of race mixing. Alright, it's just so funny to me that back in the day, like um, when I was younger, I used to go to a lot of these. I used to go to hood schools, and then when I came of age, around 9, 10, no, it's when I started. When I became 10, I started to see more mixed children in schools. It surprised me because oh, when I went to school, I ran to school a lot of the suburban kids. A lot of them, they would say they were like French, and Jamaican, or a lot of them were black and white, mulattoes. A lot of them were raised like were Haitian, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Jamaican. A lot of them. It surprised me a lot. It surprised me because I see a lot of people they saying they're mixed. Right? I mean, to me, I could say that Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. I mean, majority of them are people that are hidden. Majority of the people of the Dominican Republic and um, Puerto Rico are so-called black people. It's very hidden. Now you just see those so-called Mongoloids or Caucasian Spanish people you see on TV. That's who they promote. That's the way of promoting division between those so-called Hispanics, so-called blacks and Hispanics. Anyway, back to this. So this man Carlo Minucci, Minucci, Minucci or Minucci. Clearly he doesn't want. He doesn't want. He's angry because he don't know the truth. This history is so powerful, to for people. It determines um the fate in this society. Who's on top. He said this is when he says look when he quotes this is let me read it go. This is our day. Meaning, meaning he really he want to give the so-called black man shit. Alright, but it wouldn't shock me. So Christopher Columbus was a so-called black man. Sorry, Carlo, it's the truth. Some of the remains of Christopher Columbus were found in Seville Cathedral in Spain, and some of the bones were buried in San Domingo Cathedral in the Dominican Republic. I mean, it's hard for me to say anything about this because like it's saying his remains are in Spain. Or this, some are saying that his remains are in Spain. Some are saying his remains in the Republic. Um, if in my research, I think Christopher Columbus. Did he die in the Dominican Republic? I gotta do my research. I gotta go back and do my research and check verify. All of the bones and remains from both locations have been checked and rechecked. He's black. Columbus died in 1506. In 1537, the widow of his son Diego was allowed to take the bones of of both his her husband and his father to the Dominican Republic for burial in the Cathedral of Santo Domingo. Diego was also black. Well, if you if you go if we if you go back in history lineage, I mean the male determines the race of the child. So say this, I give you an example. Um, See if let me give you an example. How can I say this? Say if me as a so-called black man. Say if I um say if I have sex with a so-called white woman and end up having a baby, and that child, say if it's a male child, if it's a male child, um, and the male child goes up to have sex with a white woman's self and produce with this white woman, have a child that's very light, has mostly Caucasian complexion, and that child too goes off, marries, and produces a so-called white woman, and he have a son himself. That son is still considered so-called black, alright, because the male DNA, it just traces back. It's so strong. It's taste. Doesn't matter how far it goes. It's always gonna come back to one DNA. A lot of these Caucasian too. You think are Caucasian, they actually so-called. You go back and you see their ancestors. They might be so-called black. All right, actually, they're probably so-called black person. So you go down the line because I know it's really hard for them to do that research because a lot of the records have been mixed up and everything like that are being held by the people who want to control narratives. But we gotta do our due diligence to find out the truth. Not all African Americans were pleased to know, learn about Columbia's ethnic identity. Of course. What Columbo was a thug, a punk. He sold out over here and saw that the Indians, said Fred Johnson from Harlem, the so-called black male. You say when you know his name is Fred Johnson, you know it's a so-called black male. I think the whole thing is bogus. There is trying to pin a crime on black folks again. Well, come on, man. Here's the problem with so-called black people. They like here's a lot of brothers and sisters. They like to hold on to the slave narrative, right? Because they want to play the victim. Because they want to get handed everything, right? And for me, I can't respect somebody who likes to play the victim, who likes to get beaten, handed everything. Because that's like babying the person. So-called black people want to be babied. Alright? And say the person can, if you the person you relying on, you're being dependent on, couldn't do anything for you, you're gonna have to step up and do things on your own. But President Obama heard news over the weekend and was proud to know that one of the greatest sailors and navigators of all time was black. Oh yeah, whatever. Well, this gave me cause to pause because I guess they have Obama. They said Obama knew about this, um, and he wanted it to come out. It is what it is, Obama, um, pansexual, politician. He's confederate with these people trying to hide the truth too. You know, it is what it is. You would think about no Obama, all right? I'm ordering all statues and monuments to Christopher Columbus be taken down and redone. We want his like his to be accurate. And it's funny. Maybe this is how you know that it's a so-called black. This is gives you here's some hints. Probably tell you that this is a so-called black. Christopher Columbus was a so-called black man because a lot of these liberals, these Caucasian liberals, are pushing to to get rid of the history of Christopher Columbus to demonize him. If it, that's how you know. This is how you know he's a so. Yeah, this how you know. This they gives you a little hint that he was a so-called black man because a lot of these Caucasian liberals, um, and this is a quote that this is something owned by Chronicles of Judah. These Caucasian liberals, these Caucasian Jewish liberals, all of them, they're not our friends, alright? They're not the friends of so-called black people. Alright, they pretend to be, but they just use so-called black people. A lot of these people, a lot of these Caucasian liberals, they don't. A lot of them are the ones trying to hide their history about so-called black people. His own history of ruling Europe, ruling for periods of times. Alright. Well, anyway, to continue, Mayor Bloomberg in New York said that the big Italian-American parade down Fifth Avenue would be changed to an African-American parade in honor of Christopher Columbus. Oh wow. Fucked about it, said Tony Cicinelli of Brooklyn. This ain't right. This ain't the only Italian day we get. This is the only Italian day we get, and they take it down for us. We got no respect. Next thing you know, they'll buy. They'll be telling us that the Chinese invented pasta. Ah, shit. Ay, ay. The Grand Marshal of this year's Columbus Day Parade, Maria Martina Omi, has been replaced by Beyonce. Native Americans were indifferent to the news. Either way, we got screwed," said Chief Walking Stick Navajo Indian. So listen to me, this is a so-called Caucasian. These $5, one of these $5 Indian Caucasian motherfuckers saying this crap. Well, whether you are black, Italian, or just a Columbus lover, get out there and celebrate the day. I guess that's it on this article. Wait. or just a couple of quotes. Uh, so Christopher Columbus was black. Alright. Columbus wasn't black, he was an alien. Listen. It's another hint because a lot of people, when they talk about aliens, alright, they talking about so-called black people, alright. This came from Osmo, Nosmo King. I got for I figured let me figure out if this is so-called black men saying this, please. Thomas Potts, blasphemy. Billy, haha, I know the nose. Oh yeah, this is true. Christopher has shown Columbus was a brother. What the fuck? He thought he was green. Isaiah Israel. Yes, Isaiah Israel said that. I can see it. Idea that Africans couldn't hold prominent European positions in is ludicrous. If there was black Greeks, black Romans, of course there were black Spaniards. Now Ras G, he making a lot of sense. This is a part who probably done this research, right? There were black Spaniards. This is what I just alluded to. It was probably common. Race wasn't created until after Columbus. I don't see why everybody is so surprised. Hell, the Moors ruled Spain for 10 centuries. What the hell you expect? Oh, my fault. People still believe the great white race theory, where all things great came from Europe. Well, many great things did come from Europe, like a black Columbus. Laughing my ass off. The half hasn't been told. I agree, brother. Bravo. Not Bar King. Columbus wasn't black. He was in exile alien. I see a couple of kings here. Family members. Tupelo, Akam, and Moors ruled the area known as Spain, France, Holland, England, Ireland, Portugal, and some parts of Italy for 800 years. 1711, 711 AD to 1491 AD. There wasn't there was a lot of more monarchs who ruled. You know, there's a lot of black monarchs, kings and queens in history that people don't know about. A lot of them, those monarchs, they usually bleach their skin. Um, they bleach their skin, right? Because around this time, around the 1500s, so-called Caucasians started getting prominence, right? They started getting prominent positions. Like Queen Elizabeth I, she was who was the daughter of King Henry VIII, who was a light skinned so-called black man, a redhead light skinned black man. Um, she would bleach her skin. I mean, was she King Henry VIII's daughter? I could be wrong, but can correct me. Yeah, they would tend to bleach their skin. A lot of the Caucasian, a lot of um the the black minors, they will also have sex with, or like engage with, with sexual. They would have sex with a lot of Caucasian women and have children with the Caucasian women. They will mate with Caucasian women and have children with them. I mean, because around those times, so-called Caucasian were starting giving prominence, like as I alluded before. Columbus was not a navigator. He could not read. During this time period, most Moors were forced into servitude and forced to convert to Christianity, and also were kept out of lucrative business deals, just like in America, or kicked out of Europe back to Africa. Why would Columbus be spared? I mean, yeah, that is true. England and Ireland are you retarded? I mean, this I guess Devin. I'm guessing it's a so-called Brett Brother. I think he responded to the poem Tupelo Alcahaman. I think that's his response. Please, he was a Republican. Jonathan Swift. oh, oh, he was a Republican. So, because he was a Republican, he was a so-called Caucasian. This whole bullshit, this whole political bullshit. There's a lot of so-called black Republicans today. People, niggas don't know about. Fuck out of here. Jammu, Africa. Murderous black monster responsible for untold genocide, and he was Israelite as was his family. I guess his brother is one of those brothers in the knowledge. This revelation makes me happy, as the truth about this black fool is now public knowledge. Now the Italians are free of the association with the international criminal and his legacy of genocide, murder, rape, ethnic cleansing, and deportation. I thank the scientific community for this timely revelation. Columbus was a pirate and a great criminal was what black person could be proud of. This fool or or who would celebrate this criminal's life or his stumbling upon a land already discovered by the native inhabitants. I hope this black body burn in hell, and anyone who celebrates Columbus Day, Columbus pictures, statues, and anything else should be torn down. The Sodoms were torn down murder. I mean, listen, man. Here's what a lot of things. This brother said a lot here. Yes, even though yes, Columbus did all this. All right. Here's another thing, brothers. When we doing this research, this deep research in history, we gotta find out everything. We gotta find out the truth. We're gonna find out a lot of truth. I first started digging in deep into this history. I found a lot of shocking things myself. A lot of these black um, black noble people who who are known for doing a lot of terror, terroristic things. You understand? I mean, that doesn't shock me because this is how you know about when our people back in the day, they would, like today, they were selfish, they were greedy, they wanted everything. Um, because of selfish and greediness, that led to a lot of our people who were in rulership lose their power because they were too greedy and selfish. You understand? Our brothers, a lot of a lot of brothers and sisters back in the day who had power, who had rulership, will fight each other, and that caused them to lose their power because they were greedy. They wanted more. A lot of them were were trying to rule the whole world. Almost all of them. But here's here's the thing. We can't be greedy, bro. Alright? We just have to be happy to what we got or what we have. I mean, to rule the whole world. I mean, even if you don't have the whole world, with what you have, you gotta look at yourself look what you have, and and say to yourself, am I living good? Are you taking care of? Are you taking care of? Is everything taken care of in your life? Are you dying hungry? Is your family good? You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with striving to be better, but when you're striving to be better and you trying to tear down other people, that's a problem. You know, Kimberly Gay. I think people are losing sight and starting to point the fingers. A lot of people in the past have lived notorious lives, not just Columbus. Don't try to make him out to be some horrible murderer just because we now know he was African. What about Hitler? Was he African? Don't think so. I mean, African. Hitler had African descent. Alright, that was not brought out. But that besides the point. The main thing is we now have a change in history lessons, a change in statues and things of that sort. Quit pointing the fingers. Seriously, I agree. I agree, Kimberly G or G. Well said. I think people are losing sight and starting. Wait, no. I read this already. Elijah taught us 50 odd years ago that Columbus was a half original mixed race of black and white. So is this only news to us common people while the wise men have known this reality from the beginning? I mean, this shouldn't be news to us. Things are being revealed. Like even in the so-called Haitian Revolution. I'm a so-called Haitian brother myself. Um, when we look in our history in Haiti, Columbus did come through Haiti, and during like when you doing the Haitian Revolution and everything like that. Uh, who was the who was ruling Haiti for years? France. All right. A lot of them, the people who had the control of France, Haiti, who was known that was known, which was known as Saint Domingue back in the day. A lot of them, the rulers, they were blacks. All right. Even even what you would call it, the the revolutionary, the first emperor, the first ruler of Haiti, Joseph Dessalines. He said, when you look in history about him, his so-called slave master was a so-called black man. All right, and there was some there's some saying that his master was very cool to him. His so-called black master was cool to him. There's other people who 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 are saying who say that his master wasn't cool at all. Um, that his black master treated him well. I mean, when you look back in history, when you look back, this only was a very angry, was a very ruthless and angry revolutionary, very, very angry and ruthless soldier. So, where did all that anger come from? You know, well, he suffered in slavery. All right, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And plus, too, a lot of the French monarchs, kings and queens, like King Louis XVI, he was actually a so-called black man. All right, why do you think they decapitated him? All right, I mean there's hints. All right, even his great grandfather, King Louis VIII, I believe, he was a so-called black man. There's a lot of there's a lot of history brothers and sisters don't know about, and it's coming out. We need to do our due diligence, and figure out this history. So, hey man, I'm not saying he was a so-called black man. I'm not saying he was a so-called Caucasian man. He probably was a mulatto. But anyway, I'm gonna do my research, and whoever sees this, I can do your own research too to find out the truth. But anyway, shalom.